Welcome back to another episode of sanding. Guess what we're doing? More sanding. So, everything's dry from yesterday, and I'm just sitting down doing the sanding. Working 600 dry on this right now. May wind up having to go wet. I was hoping to avoid it, but I may not really have a lot of option. But, right now, I'm just sitting down, sanding and sanding. And like we did before, using my guide coat. And you can see, well, hopefully you guys can see, I've taken a few passes on this, and that shows you what the texture looks like. So that's the beauty of the guide coat, is it really exaggerates the texture to make it so you can tell when you're finally smooth, so that you stop. As soon as it's smooth, stop. Otherwise, you're going to be doing it again. So anyway, welcome back to another ShopDog-Garage video on the 67. I'm going to sand those. I'm going to sand those. Obviously, I'm working on that right now. And we'll just keep moving from there. But then once I've got all that done, then I'll pack up some knee pads in here. And that'll take a few minutes. But it's pretty important that those be nice and smooth. So, in fact, this back one I can probably mostly do from outside, because you can see I can actually just reach it. Not a problem. I can't see it, but I can reach it. So we'll see how all that goes. Anyway, that's today's goal. Just more sanding. There. Hasn't been very, very long, and I'm still working in dry, but hopefully you can see that most of that is already gone. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape these edges so that I don't cut through them. You can see we're getting kind of thin here. So I'm going to tape the edges and keep working here in the center and along this. And what I'm trying to do is not lose this curve. So these blocks are pretty stiff, you can see, but they do hold a shape. So I've got another block right here that I'm getting ready to wrap so that I don't cut a flat spot in here. But you can see that's getting pretty smooth. We kind of figured it would. Okay, getting ready to pull this tape and finish it up. You can see we're just kind of coming in. And right here there's a little bit, but I got to do that with the corner after the tape is off. This is almost done in here in the belly button. But yeah, that's really getting nice and smooth. Pretty happy with it. Got a little schmutz here. And then, like I said, all around here where I've been staying away from the tape. But yeah, looking pretty good. And now that guy's done, rinse and repeat. Let's do these little guys first. Okay, it's been a little while. So, I'm getting there. You can see all the areas I'm still working. I'm just trying to be real careful because I got less careful on this one, and now I get to respray it. Because you see the shiny? That's metal. Paint don't stick to metal. So, I got a little ambitious there. So you can see I've been staying away from my transition here. I'll do that very, very gently. But I need to get this curve in. And you can see she's coming along. I've only been doing this for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I've taken a rough pass here. I don't know how detailed I'm going to get inside the door cavity. But I do want all this to be pretty decent. Like I said, I'm not as worried in here, but like I said, I want that to look nice. And this will definitely be looking nice. That's where my arm's going to go. So, yeah, I just, before I get in here, I want to get all this stuff that's easier to get at so that I'm kind of practiced on the touch that I need to smooth this out. Like I said, that K36 didn't go down very rough. But you can see there's still some. So, still got to do it. but looking much, much better. I've been wet sanding for about 15 minutes, and I hit metal. Bummer. Well, it's been a few hours already. I'm getting ready to crawl in the car. I think I'm just going to do one initial dry pass and then immediately go to wet sanding. I seem to have better control with this thinner material. This first one where I started dry sanding and then went to wet, all these blues, that's areas I went through. This one, because I knew I was shooting anyway, so I only did wet, and you can see there's only a couple spots. I did not anticipate going through here, so in fact I haven't even finished. You know, there's you can't feel it, but you can see it, so that needs built up. Bummed about that, but needs to be done. But yeah, I knew I would go through here after being so careful on this side, so hoping that I don't screw anything up in here. So, yeah, because this is just harder to deal with, you know. It sucks that I'm going to have to spray those again, but they're outside of the car. It's not that bad. Okay, I think the wife wants to go for a ride, which works out pretty good. I just got the K36 down in those areas I went through, and I got to say, I think I got the gun dialed a little better this time. Look at how smooth that is already. So, getting better at this, you know. We got to be willing to waste some material to learn, and unfortunately that's what I'm doing now. I did not have to paint in here. This all sanded out really, really nice, so I'm gonna go with it. So it needs cleaned again, but that did not need more material. To be fair, I only wet sanded in there. I did not dry sand at all, so that's where we're at. Oh, and I should mention, this is about 6 hours worth of work today. So, yeah, that's a thing to keep in mind. So, we'll be back either tomorrow night or Tuesday night. And that's going to be the same video. We're back. It's the next day. Things look pretty smooth. I haven't really done anything yet. That's from yesterday's spraying. So I think what I'm going to do to prove this to myself is I'm going to dust the door. That'll tell me. I just put on a little guide coat, and it shows that this is considerably smoother than my last attempt. This will only take a couple minutes, and that'll be perfect. And as you can see, that got smooth. In fact, that got smooth. Those guys got smooth. And that got smooth. That really didn't even take very long. I've got one area left I don't like, and unfortunately, metal. Last little bit. The problem is I still don't like it right here, so I may actually have to build that up and then sand it. I realize it's probably not the most important location on a door, but I just don't like the way this is feathering. It's like there's something here yet. So, if I don't take care of it now, I'm going to always wish I had. Alright. Some time has passed, and we did a little bit of touch-up, because, you know, you can only make so little. So I haven't resanded yet, but that already looks really good. So I got a feeling that I have very, very little sanding to do now at this point. Pretty happy with where we are, especially on these little guys. What a difference. So let's get a little more done. Okay, just got my soapy water, threw a little bit of dust down. So I haven't even done anything yet. You can see that looks really good. That did not take very long. I don't know how well that shows up, but boy, that's nice and smooth. Okay, I've got everybody pretty nicely sanded. So let me put that down so you can see. That's pretty stinking smooth. Same with the one over here. This one's also pretty smooth. Throw a little of the shine juice on her so you can look down and see she's looking pretty nice. So it obviously all needs cleaned. I did do some minor wet sanding inside. Nothing crazy. Those are nice. This obviously is very nice. We saw that earlier. So get that shiny so you can see. Yeah, looking pretty good. Okay, I had actually uncovered this and started sanding the area we weren't happy with, and then was like, because Harlan wanted me to tape this line off, paint this black and this blue, you know, see where the natural fold is. And that's when I realized when I was doing the body work here, I actually had taken that line away. So carefully with a Dremel, I've put the line back in. It's not much, but it's there. And same in a few spots here. So I just put this back on again because I think I'm going to mix up a teeny bit of K36 and put down. You know, when the guy who's painted more cars than you says to do something, maybe you should do it. And if I'm going to mix up 2 ounces, I think I'm going to hit this corner one more time. It's not metal, but it's real thin right there. So was going to live with it, but if I'm mixing some anyway, might as well. Okay, we're airing out. It's actually been a little while, but I went ahead and took that back off. You can see where I've been working. There was like some texture here that we just didn't like. Also, there was something here. And I'm like, well, if I'm already spraying anyway, let's take care of that. But the big thing is, look, there's a line now. This side already was there, but remember, we built all of that. And apparently I didn't realize how important that was. And in a few areas where we did some build up here, so I got all that cleaned up. And since we were spraying out there, we sprayed here too. Yeah, I don't know what more you could do. I forgot to highlight that I very lightly coated that. In fact, I have a feeling I'm not even going to have to do much cleanup on that. It was already pretty smooth. So we did that. I finished getting that clean. That took a couple of minutes. And I'll show you a little. This was my mix cup. You can see how little I actually did. It was not very much. So, yeah. It was just one of those, well, if I was already mixing it anyway, this probably was fine, but now it's more fine. So, yeah. Let's be happy about the work we've done. And, well, these are curing for later this week. I think I'm going to go ahead and sandblast those hinges. Get those done so that the next time I have epoxy primer mixed, I can get those sprayed. And with that, we're closing out. Hinges look beautiful. I had to kind of do some spot work on those. I kind of ran low on sand. That's okay. I wanted to do the areas I was going to weld up holes. I just turned the air off. I am exhausted. This is going to be the end of a pretty long video. This thing's been going for probably 5 days now, 5-6 days. So, quick recap. Just did some sandblasting. Let's see, we primed, sanded, wet sanded, did re-priming because, you know, we get aggressive or it wasn't as smooth as we'd hoped. So, little lessons in there. And I got to tell you, pretty happy with how this is looking. So this is that area I just touched up like 3 hours ago, something like that. So tomorrow I'll give it a quick wipe down. But I think that's going to be fine. And I'm going to have to tape off the hood. Turns out this is supposed to be black. So we redefined it. We'll tape it. I got to touch up in here anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. But we'll do that at the same time that we do one more clean down in here. And paint that. Paint the doors. Paint the glove box door. And these two little end caps. It'll probably be a few days. We got other chores coming on. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we're getting somewhere.